yeah, that's how that valve is supposed to, in our minds, function. It should be one of the most risky escapes.
When you sit and design the game, you always then say to yourself, yeah, but people are going to play this like faster than what you've designed it to do, and you know that in your head. But then when you see it in the live, you're like, that's like double what I thought they were going to play in terms of speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am just very happy right now. I watched the 2 dev streams that Gun Interactive did, the devs of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the game is taking a 180. It is amazing to see. Every piece of feedback, every video clip I've ever sent to them, everything that I've heard that's bad about the game, all the feedback videos that I've given, that I've seen other people give, that I've seen on Reddit, everything is being touched upon in one major update. Now, I haven't played the game in a hot minute because it just seemed like it was going months without updates. It just seemed like the game wasn't doing very well, but the devs were behind the scenes. We knew they were working on it and everything. It's just when it takes that long, some people just fall off, and it's 2023, a year full of so many giant games. I had to go and play some other things. So I'm still the same level I was when I left off. I'm going to be a bit under-leveled, but I am coming back November 28th when the big update happens and all the things are fixed. It's like literally like 99% of the feedback that was like, especially on my channel, all the videos I made, if you just look at the thumbnails alone, like the victim rush meta, all these different perks that need rebalancing, the grandpa cutscene, like all the feedback videos, every single piece of feedback I've given, it seems like they're touching on every part of that. Not saying that I don't even think any dev has probably watched my videos, but it's just crazy how like in the loop I was and other people were on Reddit and Twitter, and all the feedback that was given from the community. They've added it all up and they're actually making huge changes, 250 plus changes coming on November 28th with DLC as well. A new family member, a new victim, and a new map. New perks, new abilities. As for that one video I made about all the terrible perks in the game, it seems like they're gonna do a separate update very soon addressing all those terrible perks as well, and either taking some away and or rebalancing a ton of them. Because they've even pointed out in the dev stream, yeah, they have some useless perks. I'm going to show some clips on the screen randomly of the dev stream of them talking about some of the things they discovered after launching the game. But yeah, it was a lot of stuff that I was pointing out right away, even in the playtest. So I'm just really happy to see everything being finally fixed, because I really did care about the game a lot. And it just felt like a big letdown when the updates stopped and there was just problems that persisted for even since the playtest. It's been like, I think 6 months since like Leatherface has been bugged, and then I was just like out by then. I was out by 4 months in, because if you didn't know, Leatherface was broken in the playtest, and then he continued to be broken 4 months down the line when the game launched as well. And maybe even still right now he's broken, but they're fixing that by taking out the grandpa cutscene, which is amazing. Oh my gosh, thank you for taking out the grandpa cutscene. So much feedback was given, and it's just all being touched upon. It's so nice to see.
What we don't do is make a game for people to get sweaty in and get toxic and yell at each other. And skill-based matchmaking can be a road towards that. Does that mean forever, never in the future, we're never going to have that? If the game is getting long in the tooth and we're starting to see a bifurcated audience, and there's a need for that, it's a thing we would discuss and look at. But right now, the game doesn't need it.
Now, I have no idea what the perk changes are going to be. I already know some that are having to be reworked because of the mechanic changes they're making in the game, such as no more teabagging at the exit gates. As soon as you leave a gate, you're out. You can't like close it behind you and start teabagging back there. And now people are still gonna teabag right outside the gate, so it doesn't really fix that. But I can definitely see some changes to like the rubber boots perk and stuff like that. They talked about the gallows executions a bit, so I'm sure Leatherface's perks will change a lot. I'm like almost certain every perk I touched in that video of F tier horrible perks, I feel like those are all gonna have to be touched upon because they really were the most useless ones. But yeah, excited for when that update comes out to read those patch notes on all those perks. Hopefully they don't take out too many. Hopefully they just do get reworked, because in that video, I came up with pretty good balanced reworks for all of those perks. So there'd really be no point of taking out perks, but they did say in the dev stream they might just take some out. But again, if a dev is watching, check out that video where I point out reworks for all those perks, because I think they're pretty balanced ideas. When I try to give feedback, I really try to think of the balance aspect so much. I think a lot of people see that in the comments as well. But there were also a lot of people in the comments that just kept on saying, stop trying to turn this into DBD. I literally wasn't, or stop trying to make this a competitive game. I'm just glad they were wrong, because the devs are literally listening and doing every single thing that we all asked for. Victims are starting. This isn't even something I honestly wanted. I didn't think it was needed, but I pointed out many times as well, it wasn't like needed. Victims are starting with a 60-second cooldown on abilities in the basement. So that's cool. There were many other ways they could have reworked the basement, but this probably is the easiest one. So yeah, that's being touched on. I mean, Leatherface isn't required anymore, which is something I'm scared of actually. I never thought they should have done that. So there are extra changes as well, not just the ones that I've given for feedback. I think that's going to be turned back on pretty quickly. I think people are going to realize they need Leatherface. Or like, I don't know, it's just, I know there's going to be actual infinites with some of the pallets in the game, some of the barricades. So I'm like, I don't think people are going to really like that, but that's what people asked for. So I'm glad they're doing it. If that's what the people want, then they give it to them. It's still a choice, and they'll always have a choice no matter what to be Leatherface in a game. It's not like they're taking away Leatherface. So that's huge. People kindly asked for Shirtless Johnny. Shirtless Johnny's coming.
A lot of horny people out there in the world.
The horniness is off the charts.
It's at a 10 out of 10 for stuff in the game, and I'm like, what? You know?
And they admitted multiple times in the streams that when they were designing the game, they were not thinking of, or they were thinking of how people would play. They weren't thinking it would play the way it does now.
There were times where I was just like, you know that when you're building the game, you think about it in terms of people are going to flush this toilet to make a noise so that then they can evade the family. But the concept of somebody knowing the family's in the next room, flushing the toilet, and like then going and hiding in the corner, or going a loop-de-loop and then flushing it again, and being able to, I mean, not just use it to distract them, but use it to keep them in that area with them while their buddies escape. And I mean, yeah, the toilet flush thing definitely was a shocker for me, and marathons of stabbing grandpa.
I'm just so happy they're actually fixing all of that. They thought toilets would be used a lot more, lamps would be used a lot more. They thought everyone would play super stealthy and immersive, but when the game came out, everyone started rushing instead.
Is there anything the players have done that has surprised you?
I mean, I think any person that's done game design, there's many moments where you're like, they're doing what? So the odd thing is, you always, when you sit and design the game, you always then say to yourself, yeah, but people are going to play this like faster than what you've designed it to do, and you know that in your head. But then when you see it in the live, you're like, that's like double what I thought they were going to play in terms of speed, because you spend the time that we spend on making the levels feel as immersive as we can, and leaning into stealth as a mechanic to use, and it just how all the systems sort of all play into the pace of the way we designed it, and then the player base plays that at like 2x, and you're like, oh, slow down. So that's, for me, was probably a pretty big surprise.
They want matches to go on a lot longer than they currently do, like basically double the time it seems. So they're incentivizing stealth a lot. If you make a noise, that noise is going to trace you and follow you. Stealth is encouraged as well, because if you crouch walk, you won't be detected by Johnny or the cook's abilities. So big buff to both sides here. And let me just look at the Naruto times here. 5th edition, over 250 fixes and testing. Grandpa cutscene is gone. Grandpa perks that keep unequipping themselves is being fixed. That was really annoying. Saboteur perk is going to activate on fuse boxes now as well. The family can no longer like spam their ability. I've never done this, but I guess you can spam your ability to stop the valve or close it faster. I missed out on a lot. I honestly, like, I haven't even played the family update where you can turn off the fuse box. So yeah, that was when my last video was. It was a while back. So I haven't even seen what that looks like. The valve in the slaughterhouse is being moved upstairs as well, so that's pretty big. They also admitted, it's literally one of my videos as well, that so many people didn't agree with. I made a video of the hardest escape in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was the valve on Family House, and I just got so many comments that were just like, bro, I just did this like 10 times in a row. I'm so good at this game. Or it's really not that hard. I think you're just bad. It is tough, and they even said it in the dev stream. They addressed the valve on Family House being very tough, but they also said that it is meant to be that way, and now all the valves across the board on all the maps are going to be more like the Family House. They're going to be very hard to do. They're going to be actually the last resort, hardest escape. That's what they said in the dev stream, which I can give you the clip on screen as well.
We have balance changes coming to Slaughterhouse, like you said, and we're moving that valve upstairs. When it comes to Family House, we looked at valve escape as something that was supposed to be not the easiest way out. There's a risk reward there. And I think this might shock a few of you to hear, but Family House is actually kind of the most true to design version of the valve escape because it's right there in the yard. You got to stand there in the yard and turn that valve.
Yep.
Now we've got changes coming that are going to make the valve operate a little differently. We've got an exploit on the family side that we're taking care of. We've got repressurizing on the family side that we're taking care of. Now I know that works kind of against this because you're talking about victims escaping from it, but yeah, that's how that valve is supposed to, in our minds, function. It should be one of the most risky escapes. That being said, we're making the changes. We're bringing those valves out or the tanks rather, out into the kind of, higher traffic areas on Slaughterhouse to make them more visible, which will bring them actually more in line with Family House.
The trails of blood are being fixed. That is amazing because, that is such a big advantage that console players have. I did not even know about that, until a couple months in. That is crazy that was broken for this long, too. So on PC, we're gonna have huge blood trails. It's gonna look crazy. I don't even know what to expect from that. I think that's a big buff for the family as well, but that's the way the game was meant. It was bugged this entire time. They also admitted that, the Family House is the map that gets the most complaints about, but it is the map that is best designed for Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the way they want the game to be played. And they talk about this thing of how they want the game to be balanced. It's not balanced per side, but it's their own way of balancing the game, which I'm pretty sure is in the role names. Victim is supposed to feel like a helpless victim, and the family is, the family, you're in their territory. So when they think about balancing, I think they want the family world to be stronger, which is why you see so many buffs happening to the family. I feel like the victim is at its most fun when you're terrified, when it's easy to go around and stab everyone and just run away at a faster pace than the family members. That's when the game is most boring, I feel like. You should feel powerful as a family, and you should feel weak, but have a still very winnable match as the victim. So I'm glad they're balancing the game in that way as well. Another fix that's happening, the smokehouse door on the gas station, which is that extra door that everyone leaves through at the front of the gas station when there's a cattle grid to the side that you have to turn off the generator and then open a gate for, that no one goes to, they just go straight to the smoke room. It says closed for business, but then under it says the smokehouse door on the gas station map is being reworked. So it is just being reworked. It's not actually just being shut down, which, the best thing they could do there is just put a cattle grid under it. And I'm sure they're fixing, I haven't heard yet in the Moretto Times, but I'm sure in the patch notes they'll say that they're fixing the keybinds as well. There's a lot of issues with keybinds ever since that was introduced. Also, an auto crouch toggle is being in the game. They're also introducing a currency to the game eventually. It's not currently done or finished, or maybe not even in the works yet, but they have acknowledged that a currency is coming to the game so that you can buy characters by earning currency throughout just playing the game, instead of, having to pay $10 per character, which is a steep price. But yeah, just wanted to make an update video on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Super excited for that patch. Look forward to a patch notes video coming whenever the patch notes are released, and more gameplay videos of Texas Chainsaw coming very, very soon when the updates happen. To all the haters that said that my way of balancing and all my videos were wrong about the game, well, here you go. The devs are making every single change that I wanted. Every single one. It's crazy. But anyways, that's it for this video. I will see you guys in Texas Chainsaw very, very soon.